Good night, Farrington. Good night, Valinor. Good night, Anguilla. And we have the presence of Cool FM 103.3 tonight. So I say good night to the world. My presence here is much different than the last time I was here. Last time I was here, I was contesting as a candidate for District number 5. This time around, I have decided that this is indeed an election of change. And sometimes persons have to put their egos aside, put their own selfish political ambitions aside in order to bring about the change that Anguilla deserves at this crucial time in our development. So I have decided to work with the opposition parties. However, the very first candidate that I have endorsed in this upcoming elections is Sutcliffe Hodge. The reason why I have endorsed Sutcliffe Hodge is this. He is perhaps the most qualified candidate in Anguilla's history. This is a fact. He is perhaps the most qualified candidate in Anguilla's political history. He comes with a record that cannot be surpassed. He comes with a record of accomplishment. And every time someone like Sutcliffe Hodge reaches to the top, some of us with the crab in the barrel mentality try to drag them to the bottom. But I am here to say that when Sutcliffe Hodge is elected to the House of Assembly in February of 2005, a new era in Anguilla's politics will be born. Because today we have a government that cannot relate to the ordinary people of this country. We have a government that has decided to reverse the Robin Hood theory. Robin Hood took from the rich and gave to the poor. Today we have a government that takes from the poor and subsidizes the rich. We have a government that has decided to give multi-billionaires duty-free concessions for upwards of 20 years. We have a government that has decided to give multi-billionaires tax-free breaks on corporate income tax when they are introduced, while the people of this country will have to pay these taxes. And they say that we are spreading rumors in this country. But I have decided to no longer just speak, but bring the facts to you, the people of Anguilla. On the 1st of October 2009, the government of Anguilla received a letter from the Foreign and Commonwealth Office, and it says, "Dear Chief Minister, Anguilla Public Finances, thank you for your letters of the 14th and 21st of September 2009, which followed up our conversation with Colin Roberts. Have any of you seen these letters? The Minister of Finance boasts about transparency, but I'm here to ask you, have any of you seen these letters? I appreciate the efforts of your government is making to address the issues outlined in my letter 27 July. I assure you that I consider each territory's requests very much on an individual and case-by-case basis. However, I must act prudently when considering your request for additional borrowing at this time, when Anguilla is already in breach of the agreed United Kingdom Anguilla borrowing guidelines. Already in breach. I welcome the commitment you have made towards cutting public expenditure, including public service pay cuts. However, now listen to this carefully. However, there has been less progress with plans to broaden your tax base. Less progress with plans. With plans, people. With plans to broaden your tax base. I know there's a realists, Spike Nice, and Anguilla concern rumors and all sorts of political propaganda out there. But these are the facts. With plans to broaden Anguilla's tax base, in the absence of such plans, including details on how existing and further debt will be paid back. No plan. They talk about the United Front vision. No plan. Chris Bryan is saying there's no plan. In the absence of such plans, including details on how existing and any further debt will be paid back over the next 3 to 5 years, even me can decide how to pay back my debt over the next 3 to 5 years, as long as I have an opportunity in this economy to do so. Obviously we don't. And your plan changes. Listen to this. I want you to listen to this. And your plan changes to Anguilla's taxation policy. And your plan changes. Not the British plan changes, but our plan changes. Why is it the United Front is not telling the people of Anguilla what these plan changes are? But I managed to get a Minister of Finance reluctantly to admit that they plan to increase the tax on a tax. They plan to increase the 1% surcharge that was put in as a temporary measure in 2001 after the elections in 2010. A temporary measure. And they also plan to put a 5% tax on the cost of your telephone bills. These are some of the plans, because I caught him with those plans. But other plans they're not talking about. But I go on. I am prepared. Before I go on, it says your plan changes to Anguilla's taxation policy. I cannot agree to your entire borrowing request. I am, however, prepared to agree exceptionally to the government of Anguilla borrowing $20 million to cover recurrent deficit over the next 6 months, which will bring us up to elections. Provided, listen to this, $20 million you'll be able to borrow, providing you commit now to new revenue measures no later than financial year 2010. Come on, people. Come on. How will they twist this to make it sound like it is something else other than what it says? This is what it says. This is in black and white. And I know the United Front have a sue them policy. Anytime you say anything about them, we sue them, shut them up. But you can't sue me for this. You cannot sue me for this. And while I say that, the United Front have decided to Sarah Palinize their candidates. When Sarah Palin decided to run in the last elections in America, they decided she wasn't ready. So we'll keep her from the press, keep her from the talk shows. And when they finally allowed her a little room to wiggle and speak to the press, what a disaster. She could see Russia from her house. And this is the same type of politics we have in Anguilla. When the United Front have made a conscious decision to Sarah Palinize, this is a new word, Sarah Palinize their candidates. Because we have all heard the disasters of Kensick Richardson, Curtis Richardson, and Mr. Paul Delcy Gray. My heart goes out to him. But I have a feeling he will not give up his job, and like Mr. Rogers, he will not give up his U.S. citizenship. But we have something coming. However, as I said before, we are allowing you to borrow $20 million to cover the recurrent deficit over the next 6 months, provided that you now commit to new revenue measures no later than financial year 2010-2011 to broaden your revenue base as identified by independent study to analyze the impact of the public finances of a range of new taxes and initiatives. Of a range of new taxes, people. So why? And why is it Viceroy, Flag, and Captain Luca can be exempted from all sorts of duties for the next 20 years, will be exempted from the range of new taxes and initiatives. Every man, woman on this country will have to pay. Pay in our own way. That was his thing. Pay in our own way. While the rich billionaires get away scot-free.